The Odion nation says it can only vote for a president who has taken a stand in support of restructuring, resource control and fiscal federalism. The decision was taken in Kiagbodo, Delta State, when leaders of the 6 indigenous states of the Odion nation met. Now, joining us on Skype to discuss this issue is Secretary, Odion Youth Council Worldwide, Alfred Kemekpado. Thank you for joining us on TVC News.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
Now, how do you react to this development now?
Basically, it's a good one. Over 60 years, our agitations and our yearnings have been owning our resources and taking a full control of our resources, which in recent times is embedded in the details of the restructuring. That is why, even yesterday, we commend the party, the ruling party, the APC, for coming up with this blueprint. We are more concerned about the details in the blueprint and how we can tweak it to a final document. We are also expecting that as soon as this is done, these particular materials will be deployed to the National Assembly and the President, because the truth is, it doesn't take only a document to say the truth, but the President and the Presidency, we're expecting them to drive their goodwill deploy their goodwill into the National Assembly to ensure that this document sees the light of the day as soon as possible and far away from the 2019 politics. By that I mean we expect that all the details of this document will be sorted, done and dusted before the 2019 elections. And when that is done, the people will be glad and will act in that glad manner. Anything short of that, like we had said in Kiagbodo, the elections are like a referendum to us. It's for us to, we are tilted towards that side of restructuring. So whatever is for restructuring is what we would throw our weight behind.
All right, we understand it's 6 indigenous Odion states. Can you, for the benefit of our viewers, just let us know these particular states?
Odions are predominantly in Ondo State, which is the Arubos, Edo State, the Gelegele of Funama areas. We are in Delta State, we are in River State, we are in Bayelsa State, we are in Akwa Ibom State. Though there are people of Eja extraction in the Bakassi area in Cross River State, and a bit of the riverine area in Kogi, very close to the confluence area, we have a judge that. But predominantly, the first 6 states I mentioned is our areas of operations, which we have described as our western, eastern, and central. So that's where we are, the judge.
Okay, besides fiscal federalism, the restructuring and resource control, what else would you be looking for in a leader?
For now, we are concentrated more on the deliverables that you have mentioned. Besides fiscal federalism and restructuring, we are also interested in the details with respect to the recommendations with respect to local government. For example, Bayelsa State, where I come from, we discovered that our local governments are just 8, as against some states in the north that have about 42. And when you deploy these details into even the recent police recruitments where they had to take people per local government, you see that automatically we are shortchanged. So we are not being treated fairly, even if we produce about 30%, over 30% of the nation's resources that will be deployed into the payment of these facilities. And beyond that, of course, you know, we will be happier if our security is being, you know, more communal. You know, so these are the other areas. But I don't want to dabble into many other areas that it's not topical for now. But what is most interesting for us is the recommendations of the committee. We have seen structures like they talked about owning onshore, offshore facilities, you know. So we begin to ask questions like, okay, if the recommendations are saying all onshore facilities now belong to us, what about our states that have most of our oil facilities offshore? Do they also now mean that we have both the 15% derivative plus the onshore the onshore oil facilities? Or do they mean that we have the onshore oil facilities plus more than the 15% details? If that is not what they mean, if we reduce it to just the onshore facilities, when we take an aggregate technical evaluation of the whole matter, does it translate to mean that even our onshore facilities will now be less than the 15% derivative? If that is not the issue, we are beginning to also ask questions again. Okay, now that so much resources are being spent in the Northeast to begin to explore oil, and oil is recently now discovered in areas like Lagos, is it a technical plot, you understand, to see that, okay, over time, they now own all their resources because almost all their resources are onshore, but most of our resources are offshore. So these details, but however, I have not said this to condemn the documentation. I have said this to appreciate the documentation to the extent that all of these details are to be reviewed and to be tweaked by all of us, are to be looked at all of us for the benefit of all. I believe in the community. I want to believe that they are sincere with Nigerians and with the Niger Deltas and with all the regions this time. Of course, I share with the sentiments of most Nigerians who begin to doubt because of the failed promises that we had experienced in recent times. But this, I think, it is time for us to put on optimism and to see how we can work these details. And I believe that the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party, knows what the time is now. And I don't think that they want to do anything that is not sincere, because that would turn an albatross for them. So what I urge Nigerians and youth to do is for us to own this document together, reinforce this document, and turn it to the Bible that we all hope for. By that I mean turn it to a document that will tickle the prosperity of all, along the lines of restructuring that we have always yearned for.
All right, let's hope that the Ijos stick with this caveat in elections come 2019. Alfred Kemekpado, Secretary, Ijo Youth Council, thank you for joining me on TVC Midday News.